the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Philippine Air Force airlifts additional relief goods to northern Cebu for ongoing HADAR operations. Two NPA leaders surrendered to 36 IB from Surigao del Sur. PCSO, MMDA, and LRTA launched 50 million peso aid caravan for Cebu and Masbate. More than 200,000 individuals affected by severe tropical storm Paulo.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Monday, October 6th, and this is AFP Community News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rofh Suzon-Abay here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the Philippine Air Force transported another batch of relief goods yesterday to support ongoing humanitarian assistance and disaster response operations in northern Cebu. A C-130 aircraft from Colonel Jesus Villamor Air Base in Pasay City delivered the additional cargo to Brigadier General Benito Buen Air Base, Lapu-Lapu City. The shipment included relief items from PhilRads, Operation Blessing, and Activations Advertising Incorporated, consisting of hygiene kits, food packs, solar lights, and other essentials. The Philippine Air Force reaffirmed its commitment to provide timely airlift support and aid to the affected communities recovering from the recent earthquake.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Two high-ranking New People's Army leaders surrendered to the 36th Infantry Battalion in Barangay Cabangahan, Tago, Surigao del Sur. The surrenderies, identified as Demar Quinones Montenegro alias Jensen and Jachel Canon Ayoste alias Riza, turned over key information that led to the recovery of firearms, explosives, and medical supplies. The surrender resulted from intensified military operations and community engagement efforts. The Philippine Army urged the other NPA members to avail of the government's ECLIP and amnesty program for a chance to reintegrate into peaceful society.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now from NOLCOM, let us hear some information from Joanne about the Army soldiers help deliver baby amid storm in Zambales. Go, Joanne.
During the onslaught of severe tropical storm Paulo, soldiers of the Philippine Army helped deliver a baby in Palawig, Zambales. Troops from the 69th Infantry Cougar Battalion, through its medical team, provided medical transportation assistance to Ana Rose Amogis Flores, a resident of Palawig who was about to give birth at the height of the typhoon. The 69th IB safely transported Flores to the President Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Hospital in Iba, where she successfully gave birth. Officials of the 69th IB commended the swift response of the troops and medical personnel, underscoring their unwavering commitment to humanitarian assistance and disaster response. This is John Sagalk reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCOM.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
5 members of lawless groups surrendered to the Joint Task Force Central in Barangay Cablon, Tupi, South Cotabato, turning over several high-powered firearms and explosives. 2 of the surrenderers were identified as members of the Communist Terrorist Group, while 3 belonged to the Dawla Islamiyah Magid Group. Major General Donald Gumiran, the commander of JTF Central, said the surrender resulted from sustained intelligence and negotiation efforts. Westmancom Acting Commander Brigadier General Romulio Quemada II commended the move, calling it a significant step toward peace and reconciliation in central Mindanao.
DWDD Armed Armed Forces News.
On the other hand, two elderly members of the New People's Army surrendered to authorities in Samar and northern Samar. The surrenderers, facilitated by local mobile police units and intelligence teams, involve a 63-year-old from Katubig, northern Samar, and a 71-year-old farmer from Calbiga, Samar. Both were longtime members of the Eastern Visayas Regional Party Committee and have undergone debriefing for possible inclusion in government reintegration programs. Police Regional Office Region 8 Regional Director Brigadier General Jason Capoy commended the peaceful surrender, emphasizing the value of committee-based approaches in ending local insurgency.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more from Meljoy of 1st CRG about 95th IB discovers IEDs and ammunition in Isabela.
Yes, Rofh, soldiers from the 95th Infantry Battalion successfully discovered 4 pieces of Kapto improvised explosive devices, 2 rifle grenades, detonating cords, 30 gun bullets, and 1 gallon of rice estimated to be 20 to 25 kilos in Barangay Divilacan, Isabela. The said equipment was found in the former stronghold of the disbanded Regional Comite Cagayan Valley, known to operate in the mountains of Divilacan. The successful discovery was the result of a report by the citizens in the area. This success is proof of the continued cooperation of citizens and local governments in the government's campaign against the remaining threats of terrorism. The recovered explosives and ammunition were carefully disposed by the authorities to avoid any danger to civilians. The 95th Infantry Battalion continues their dedication to serve and protect its countrymen and remains committed to their call for peace, unity, and cooperation to permanently maintain peace and order in the province of Isabela. This is Meljoy Nesho Oroco reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy of 1st CRG.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
A 42-year-long family feud between the Ibni Alang clan of Panglima Estino and the Tito Mono clan of Kalingalan, Kaluwang, Sulu was finally settled through a peace covenant signed at the Panglima Estino Municipal Hall. The reconciliation, mediated by the Sulu provincial government, marked the end of decades of violence that began in 1983. Brigadier General Alaric Avelino de los Santos of the 1102nd Infantry Brigade lauded the families for choosing peace and emphasized the Army's support for committee-led reconciliation. Local officials and military leaders witnessed the ceremony, which symbolized the unity and lasting peace in the province.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, in partnership with the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority and Light Rail Transit Authority, sent off an aid caravan to deliver relief and medical assistance to communities devastated by recent natural disasters in Cebu and Masbate. The caravan included 12 patient transport vehicles, 5 dump trucks, and 6 wing vans loaded with the medical supplies, disaster response equipment, and relief goods. It also carried at least 18,000 charity pills, 4,000 evacuation kits, more than 600 boxes of medicines, and nearly 8,000 additional relief items amounting to around 50 million pesos. PCSO General Manager Melquiades Robles said this effort is more than just numbers, but a reflection of compassion and unity. He also added that every relief pack represents the country's collective empathy and support for affected families.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from Shaira about Naval Forces Central deploys disaster teams to aid earthquake-hit northern Cebu.
Yes, good afternoon. Naval Forces Central has intensified its humanitarian operations by deploying 2 disaster relief and response teams to augment Joint Task Group Handa. It was led by the 53rd Engineer Brigade following the devastating earthquake in northern Cebu. The teams are assisting in relief, clearing, and retrieval operations across Bogo, San Remigio, Medellin, Daan, Bantayan, and nearby municipalities. Trained Navy personnel are facilitating the distribution of aid, transporting essential supplies to isolated communities, and providing medical assistance. The operation highlights the AFP's unified commitment to deliver timely and effective disaster response and uphold its mission of service to the Filipino people. This is Shai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaira.
DWDD National News.
Moreover, the Philippine National Police deployed additional personnel and resources to Cebu Province to ensure the swift distribution of relief goods to residents affected by the magnitude 6.9 earthquake. Acting PNP Chief Lieutenant General Jose Malencio Nartates Jr. said the focus will be on the hard-hit northern areas. He mentioned that the quick response and continuous hard work of the PNP personnel on the ground not only paved the way for government assistance reaching more affected communities but also resulted in the gradual restoration of normalcy in the entire province. The PNP is now coordinating closely with the Cebu provincial government and local disaster response teams to streamline relief distribution to remote communities.
DWDD National News.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council said over 70,500 families or more than 225,000 individuals were affected by severe tropical storm Paulo. A total of 3,940 families sought shelter in 284 evacuation centers. Meanwhile, 2,997 families were served outside evacuation centers. And the RRMC added that no fatalities, injuries, or missing were reported.
Armed Forces Radio.
Some information from Jumboy about Third ID conducts fourth quarter bloodletting drive to support life-saving initiatives.
The 3rd Infantry Spearhead Division Philippine Army held its fourth quarter bloodletting activity at Camp Macario B. Peralta Jr. with 110 successful donors. Officers, enlisted personnel, and civilian employees participated in partnership with the Western Visayas Medical Center. The initiative aimed to strengthen the blood supply for emergency surgeries and medical treatment. This continuing effort formed part of the 3rd ID Health and Welfare Program promoting the well-being of soldiers and the communities they serve. This is Niboy reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Jimboy.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, the Department of Public Works and Highways will start rehabilitating key infrastructure in northern Cebu that was damaged by a powerful magnitude 6.9 earthquake. Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon said the rehabilitation will start today. He said over 2.5 billion pesos worth of damage to roads and bridges was recorded. He also added that the numbers will excludes the structures like schools and hospitals.
DWDD National News.
Acting Philippine National Police Chief Police Lieutenant General Jose Malencio Nartates Jr. has ordered a thorough investigation to identify all those responsible behind the attempt to sell 15.5 million pesos worth of relief goods bearing the logo of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. The illegal activity was busted by the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group in an operation in Manila in a two-day operation that started last Thursday, October 2. Nartates expressed belief that the modus is not a handiwork of a single person who was arrested in the operation. He said they are determined to uncover the entire network behind this illegal trade while assuring that those who conspired to profit from relief goods intended for the people will be held accountable.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let's hear more from Mike about 6FAB hosts hydroponics training under MAL program.
The 6th Field Artillery Battalion conducted a hydroponics training yesterday in partnership with TESTA practitioners from GB's 3rd Agro Farms Learning Center as part of its military livelihood and education program. The session introduced soil-less cultivation, nutrient management, and compact system to promote sustainable food production and resilient among 6 FAB personnel. Participants also joined a salad-making contest and showcase creative uses of freshly grown greens. The initiative highlights 6 pubs' commitment in promoting self-sufficiency, health, and environmental awareness within its rank. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mike.
DWDD National News.
Meanwhile, the government must ensure that the charges against those suspected of involvement in corruption must be airtight and backed by solid proof. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said this amid the Independent Commission for Infrastructure's probe of irregularities in flood control and infrastructure projects. Marcos said that if the government is going to bring them to court, they must have a strong case. He then warned against filing weak cases that lack clear evidence to indict corrupt government officials, as it would only lead to a much worse outcome.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Health is conducting its own investigation on issues surrounding the medical assistance to indigent and financially incapacitated patients program and supposed ghost health centers. Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa said the DOH is already looking into anomalies involving the MyFIF program, which provides financial assistance for the medical expenses of eligible applicants. He added several actions have been taken already and they continue to do case build-up. Herbosa also said they are now looking at options to operationalize non-functioning completed health facilities.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our report on the ground, let's hear the report of Spencer about 12 CMO Battalion deploys CSP WOW teams to promote peace and development in Caloocan City.
U.S. Rofh, the 12th Civil Military Operations Battalion, conducted a send-off ceremony for the deployment of Community Support Program-wide area operations teams in selected barangays of Caloocan City. The initiative aims to foster peace and development through community engagement and non-combative approaches. Lieutenant Colonel Randy Veracion, Battalion Commander of the 12th CMO Battalion, led the ceremony and emphasized the importance of unity, integrity, and commitment in fulfilling their mission. The CSP-WAO deployment emphasizes the Philippines Army dedication in supporting local communities and strengthening peace and stability in urban areas. This is Spencer reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Spencer.
DWDD National News.
Senate President Pro Tempore Panfilo Lacson stepped down as chairperson of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee due to alleged dissatisfaction from other senators. Lacson said Senate Committee chairpersons serve at the pleasure of their colleagues who elected them. He explained that it's time for him to step aside when quite a number of his colleagues have expressed disappointment over how he is handling the flood control project anomalies. Lacson added that when his own peers start expressing their group or individual sentiments, maybe it's best to vacate the position.
DWDD National News.
The Philippine National Police will sustain aggressive anti-drug operations in the country following the seizure of 6.9 billion pesos worth of shabu in 2 successive operations in Pangasinan last week. Acting PNP Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nortates Jr. said the seizures are proof of good coordination among the PNP, Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, and other law enforcement units in line with President Marcos's order for a relentless campaign against illegal drugs without compromising operational procedures and human rights. Authorities seized 125 kilos of shabu with an estimated street value of 850 million pesos and arrested a Chinese man and his Filipino cohort in Bugalion, Pangasinan. Another operation led to the seizure of a large stash valued at 6.08 billion pesos in nearby Labrador town the following day. Nartates assured the public that they will get to the bottom of this case by identifying all the personalities involved and filing cases against them.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from Ferdy. Bukidnon and government and the army turn over cash aid to 2 former rebels. Go Ferdy.
Good day, everyone. Governor Rogelio Neil Roque, together with Major General Michelle B. Anayron Jr. of the 4th Infantry Diamond Division and Colonel Warren C. Munda of the 403rd Infantry Peacemaker Brigade, led the ceremonial turnover of cash assistance to 2 former rebels in Bukidnon. The surrenderies, identified as alias Reds and alias Vivian, voluntarily yielded to the authorities and received immediate financial aid to help them start new lives. Governor Roque emphasized that peace and development initiatives remain crucial to the province's stability and progress. Major General Anayron reaffirmed the Army's commitment to assist local government in reintegrating former rebels and sustaining peace efforts in the region. This is Freddie Blues reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Ferdy.
DWDD National News.
Minimum wage earners in Calabar Zone are entitled to get the first tranche of their mandated salary hike. The National Wages and Productivity Commission said the Calabar Zone Wage Board approved an increase in 2 tranches, with a second to be given on April 1, 2026. Under the new wage order, non-agricultural workers in the region will receive an increase of 30 to 100 pesos, while agricultural workers will get 25 to 100 pesos. Meanwhile, retail and service workers will get an increase of 83 pesos in their daily pay. However, retail and service establishments that are regularly employing no more than 10 workers will give an increase of only 60 pesos for the first tranche and 23 pesos for the second tranche.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rofh Suzon-Abay for AFP Committee News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.